Hey guys, and welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to be looking at my palette, my watercolor palette, and a couple of reasons why I lay my palette out the way I lay it out, and other things that I think are really important for you to know. The reason why I thought I'd start with my watercolor palette in this video series is because I'll go to a watercolor workshop and I'll be teaching, and I've noticed that the students that struggle the most are the ones that don't put out enough paint. And the thing you need to understand with watercolor is a time sensitive medium. What I mean by that is that if I'm doing a wash, so if I'm putting down a bunch of paint, so let's put some paint down. I've got a wash up here, but let's put out a little bit of a wash over here. If I'm putting down paint, my painting, the water, particularly I've got it on an angle, the water is moving down, the gravity is moving the pigment down the actual surface. So the paint that up here is drying quicker than what's down here because there's more water down in this area. Now if I've put down this lovely wash and I've suddenly ran, into this wash I need to put either more of the same pigment and I've run out, or I want to put a different color and I don't have enough pigment on my palette. So if I go, okay, I'm going to be using this green over here, and I want to actually use this green, and I run out of this green and I need to go searching for it, the thing is going to be happening is that I'm going to, while this is drying, I'm going to be searching frantically through all my colors and going, which color was that? That's my phthalo green. I now need to put that onto my palette. I need to agitate it. I need to get my wash ready so that I can then start adding that pigment into my wash here, or I could be might have needed to add it up here. If I time that incorrectly, I'm going to get lines, and I don't want lines in my wash. I don't want cauliflowers, I don't want lines, particularly if I'm doing flat washes. Sometimes you might be aiming for cauliflowers, but mostly you're aiming to not have cauliflowers, and you want to be able to drop your colors in quickly and in a timely manner. And that's what I mean by a time sensitive medium. So if I'm worried about that and I'm suddenly sitting there and going, I don't have enough pigment and I've got to search through all these my pigments, I'm going to struggle. So what you need to do is you need to put out enough paint onto your palette, and that way it's always there. So when you first start painting, you should look at your palette and go, okay, which pigments are missing and which ones do I need to fill up my actual wells. Now, how much pigment do I put in each of the well is very, very important as well. You want to fill your well in. So as you can see, I've filled this well in here, and you want to basically, I'm going to show you how I do it from here. I'm going to grab my cadmium yellow and I'm going to fill from the back, and I'm just going to move it along, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And that is enough pigment in my well. Now you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I can't put that much pigment out. That's just too scary for me. The great thing about watercolor is even though when it dries, I can re-agitate that and it's still going to be wet. It's not oils and it's not acrylics. So I can still use that paint again and again until it runs out. So don't be fearful of using a lot of your paints in, like filling up your wells. It's really important that you do, because in that way you've always got enough color on your palette for when you're painting. The other thing that you need to do is when you're painting, you want to put your colors out in the same way every single time. Now I have a method of putting my colors out. I know how I put my colors out, and I'll go into that in a different video, why I've put it out this way. But I put it out the same way every single time. Now the reason why I do that is because during my painting, my pigments get quite dirty. I am not a neat painter, and my palette will start looking a bit like this. I mean, this is just crazy. There is paint all over the place, and if I don't know what this color is here, or this, like any of these colors, if I don't know what that color is when I go to paint, or I'm not going to remember where it is. I'm going to be going, okay, I need that lovely purple. This here is a I believe I can't remember the color. It's a violet. If I don't put this here the same every single time, when I'm painting, I'm going to have a hard time finding that. I'm going to be thinking, oh gosh, where is that purple? and I'm going to be searching through my messy colours. But if I've got it in the same place every single time, I'm always going to know where I need to go when I'm painting. And that is why I lay my palette out the same way every time. And I do it for every palette that I use. I have all my yellows here, my reds here, my blues, greens, and over here I have my randoms. Now these randoms will change occasionally because I'll be experimenting with a new color. Like these here are my randoms here, but I know that they're my randoms and I have actually specifically put them in when I'm painting for that particular painting. So I think that this is a really important thing for you to understand and a really important thing for you to do, because if you want to be able to paint watercolor well, you really do need to have your palette laid out properly, laid out with enough pigment, and I mean a lot of pigment, so that you will not run out during your painting session. I hope this has been helpful. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a wonderful painting week, and yeah, happy painting. See you guys. Bye.